picture is such an oversimplification. You know what I'm saying? Angry Man made a really good point about if the father's doing what he's supposed to do, she has a whole lot to say about him. Or she'll talk crazy about him, talk crazy to him. But if the guy's a real deadbeat and he really don't give a F, she'll just say he's not in the picture. Mostly because that guy really don't care. There's some men out there who really do not care, bro. Anyway, let me go ahead and play this joint, and then we're gonna get to this story with Future. Fair use.
Relationship. Name me 5 things you think you're supposed to get out of a relationship for real. And if you thought that you were supposed to get particular things out of a relationship, why didn't you move with more intention? That goes for the men and the women. Because the women are out here not moving with no intention. Y'all come through, you open your legs for anybody, you have babies for them. That's the thing to get me. Y'all will move in with these men. Y'all have one quick little conversation, and then boom, y'all be living together. How you living together with somebody that you don't even have deep conversations with to plan nothing? How you move with somebody? So y'all can be in-house sex with each other. That's what old folks call shacking up. Wasn't no plan to it. You just want to be in-house sex. You just don't want to have to call and go to the other one and go here and there.
So, one of the reasons why things are like this, and again, this is one of like the how can I say this? This is one of the ways that feminism influence how relationships play out now. Because one of the things that feminism talks about or teaches women is that relationships with men are not important. So if you think something is not important, or not even that, it's really hard for it to resonate with women how important men are, because in their mind they are programs who think that they are above the men. Like I'm always around women, and for the most part, the main thing that I hear women say when they talk about wanting a relationship, they only talk about basically using him for his resources, or her wanting the relationship just to help herself, not because she wants to have a relationship and I want to get me a man. And I think people really sleep on the individual's ability to be delusional, the individual's ability to be able to deny what's in front of them and tell themselves a story about what's going on. All right. So when women saw less value in being a wife, then we lose the idea of, or the desire to be a good wife. All right. We need social pressure to be at our best. It's not wrong with having a little bit of pressure on you, have expectations on you. But feminism over time, because what happened is also men listen to women, because men for the most part are designed to care about women. That's why the man will hold the door for you. If the man sees you struggling with a heavy object or a heavy bag, if you need help with something, if he can help you and it's only going to take a moment, more than likely he will stop and help you, especially if you know him. All right. And that's based off of not just you asking him. Most men, they feel good about helping people. I'm not saying that they want to sit somewhere and help you move a whole mansion. That's something totally different. You need to call your friends who have been exposed to gamma radiation for such things if you need help moving. Because let me tell you right now, that's the only way I'm gonna help you move, is if I'm exposed to gamma radiation and such things. Trying to give y'all a little more of a quirky performance. I feel like when coffee is cold, I feel like when you're drinking it, I feel like it like goes back and forth differently when it's hot. These are just my thoughts, people. Just my thoughts. But anywho, so what I also wanted to say was we have to think about, like, all right, when something's actually good. All right. And actually taking time to critique something. So one of the reasons why I've been able to get good at just everything I've done in life is through feedback. and listening to feedback. And also going back to what I was saying about how men actually listen. So with over time, men listening to women, we got here from men listening to women and saying, okay, well, okay, this is what I'll take your word for it, or if that's how you feel. This all happened because men care about women, and it just, you start seeing the expectations rise more and more and more to the point where there started to be no more social expectations for women in terms of how she presents herself, how she communicates, her sexual past, and this whole concept of body count and whatnot, which I don't really feel as though you need to disclose. I don't want to know how many people you slept with. I think it's a super personal question. Cause I'm like, because also if you slept with a lot of people, to a certain degree, I think all men don't want to ruin liking the women. You know what I'm saying? Because once you find out that she has like a past and whatnot, especially the higher up you go, you realize like, yo, they're more of a threat. All right. And so anyway, so Crimson's also going to break down how she's breaking down how a normal person gets into a relationship, but this scenario where you're going off of a feeling and it's not really based off of nothing, it goes into overdrive, the crazier or the more basic, the more of a alternative lifestyle you live. So especially if someone who's a dancer has a whole different schedule, and they don't have a 9 to 5. They may have a 9 to 5, but they don't have a 9 to 5, right? These people are working at they're doing the overnight shift. It's the grade shift. You understand? So anyway, she about to get to the part. You know what? She might have went past it. My bad, yo. You know what? I did a timestamp. Let me pull it up.
Supposed to get out of relationship. Name me 5 things you think you're supposed to get out of a. You're gonna start wanting certain things from this man when you are in the house with him. He'll be telling women, don't be moving in with no man that's not your husband. It's because when you move in, you're gonna start playing house with each other. You're gonna start playing house with each other. You're gonna play house with each other. Play house. You're gonna start wanting certain things from this man when you are in the house with him. You're gonna start wanting certain things from this woman that's in this house with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ain't nobody said nothing about marriages, commitments, had no.
We're gonna stop it right there. Marriages and commitments, and I'm telling you, Black people in general. First of all, I think we've all gotten to a point where we have an issue with commitment. Men are more biologically ingrained to commit because again, it's hard for men to stop something that they started or turn their back on something that they have built. Okay. Whereas for women move more so in like survival mode. They kind of try to adjust, and it's survival. They go with whatever they think is going to be best for their survival or keep them the most comfortable and stuff like that, right? But with the expectations continuously coming down, right, to where you can't really say, oh well, women should do this, women should do that, and it got to where you no longer can say what women should do. And the reality is that that wasn't good, because now the women don't have the same power and grace and elegance they used to have. Like for real, this generation, if y'all don't turn it around, like you got to realize, what kind of big mama am I going to be? Like seriously, because you're going to have kids. What kind of forget what kind of no I won't say forget. I'm sorry. What kind of big mama you want to be? Because right now, ain't no big mama, because big mama she trying to get her swerve on. Your big mama smoke better bud than you do, and that might be a fact, bro. You know, Granny be having on packs. Granny house smell like weed, man. She lit. Ninja, your grandma might be on Tinder right now. Okay, we are living in like a hedonistic society. So I'm just saying. So over time, where the breakdown happens is in terms of the relationships, the quality of the relationships come down a lot when the women are coming into it with thinking that I'm basically, this is my show, this is my story, and it gets into that whole main character syndrome thing. That's crazy. I said that on here. I just put that together, and Angry Man said the same thing on his show. It's crazy. But you get to this main character syndrome thing where you imagine life in a way where you feel like everyone's supposed to play a part in your movie. And when they do something that doesn't benefit you, it's like they're not following their lines, and you're like, "Yo, what's wrong with you? That's not your line. Your line is supposed to be." No, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's when we have a bit of a disconnect. But so I keep talking about this because, for one, this is how we get to where, first of all, men don't communicate like that. Social media is the only way that men can get as close to women in terms of how women communicate and transmit ideas. They transmit ideas through talking to each other. This woman talks to this woman, that woman. You know what I'm saying? And being social, and they're able to spread ideas and then get everyone on the same page. Because what all the women catch on to is, oh, that's beneficial. Oh, yeah. So, I shouldn't get a prenup. Which is why a lot of times women for the most part, by default, get offended if you bring up a prenup. Or the whole idea of not that monogamy is bad, but the pressure women put on other women to want their man to be monogamous. When we tell you something, women are perfectly capable of sharing you with another woman, especially when the more highly she thinks of you. All right, actually, like not even that. For the most part, what men gotta realize is that nothing you can do is going to change her heart. She fuck with you, or she don't fuck with you. So the only thing that men can do is make themselves the best version of themselves and keep their eyes on what makes them happy, their spiritual walk. Because long as you have a spiritual walk, or that you have something to do that's spiritual and whatnot, that means that usually you are guided by something, and whatever you're doing is probably right, because it's based off of morals and ethics and some kind of rules. Whereas, whenever there's no rules, basically there's no masculine leadership, because rules come from masculine leadership, and only men can enforce rules and laws, because only we have the physical strength to enforce rules and laws and the will to take away life if need be. I'm not saying like women won't off nothing, but excuse me. It's just the fact for all the data that we have, women and children are more capable of doing things in a way that's unfair, because it takes maturity to be able to think of the long-term effects of what you're doing and saying, and also to consider all things at one time. I mean, because it's like the way that women and kids think when it comes to an equation, it's like they see 2x plus 2y equals 50. And they don't know it's algebra, and they have to solve, you know what I'm saying? And maturity is like knowing what the variables are. And then saying, okay, that's how we get the 2x plus 2y equals 50. You know what I'm saying? Which would be like, when y is 25, and let's say y is 25 and x is also 25. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? And it gets to 50. You get what I'm trying to say? And so, and men are more likely to be able to see that. All right, boom. Okay, all right, no, hold on. It's not. Well, it just says 2x plus 2y plus 3. You know what I'm saying? You look at the whole equation. All right, that's what maturity is. It's being able to see the whole equation and also solve for the variables and answer. Okay. So I gave us a nice little feel right here. And actually, I want to share one thing before we got here, because I thought this was a really good video in terms of helping men understand how to move just in the world, and really letting go of living your life in a way where your success or what you want to accomplish is just for the benefit of someone else. Because when you think about it, like, a lot of men feel like, yo, they'll be able to purchase their love when they get to a certain point. And to a certain degree, you can. Like, I mean, like, nah, it does. I mean, like, femininity has always cost it. You know what I'm saying? But the best system that we have for women and men getting their needs met is marriage. So Crimson is not wrong in that regard, because it makes it to where, okay, we have to really think about, do we want to be together? Because we're getting married, right? And then also, there's some structure behind it. There's an expectation, there's a commitment where we're agreeing that, hey, I'm your husband, I'm your wife. You know what I mean? So there's an agreement there, an expectation versus when we're just in relationships. And again, women seeing less value in marriage, you know what I mean? And also understanding your role in it. Because when you understand your role in something, you understand what you're giving and you take it more serious. But if women think that in relationships, they don't have to give anything or what they give is not important, you know what I mean? You get to where you just not functioning on the highest level. It's also like parenting, right? Like when my son, we do Instacart a lot. So while we're doing Instacart, I take the opportunity to teach him from time to time, or if I see an opportunity and whatnot, or when we're interacting, I'm constantly coaching him so that he's getting hours of education. You know what I mean? Because the whole time I'm around him and whatnot, we're interacting. You know what I'm saying? So I'll explain to him, nah, this is how you respond to this. This is how you respond to that. You know what I mean? And I said to say this, even watching my best friend with his kids, right? And what he do so much with his kids, and so much to make them like amazing people, right? Because they do all types of activities and whatnot, and they're such confident. They're gonna be great people. They're gonna be great people when they get older. You know what I mean? But he's functioning at a higher level because all he gotta do really is come home, go to work, and come home. All right, maybe let him go outside, take him to the park. You know what I mean? Give him a little Happy Meal and whatnot. That is so much more than what previous generations of children received from their father. And they still respected their father. You know what I mean? So when you start taking your role more serious, you take who you do it for more serious. Like where I'm at in my life, I'm not going to be your boyfriend, like your husband. And I still believe that a marriage could work. I believe in relationships and stuff like that, which is one of the reasons why, I'm gonna do this right here. Because I knew that I'm like, you know what I realized in my life, I was like, you know what? You need to get your relationship right with your practice, with your religious practice, because I become more consistent, right? But I'm like, and this is what happens with a lot of people as they get older, as they have any kind of faith. You start wanting to do it right more because you start feeling like, all right, when I do this the way I was told to do it, everything in my life moves. Everything is different. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, I gotta take full advantage of that. Okay. And I need to get that right, because all your relationships are the same. Same thing like with my diet. I'm like, I let myself get to where I just became like so lax. You know what I'm saying? There will be times where like it will take a month or two since I had a cookie. Or I might go for weeks without having a piece of bread. Or that was a treat for me to have like a sandwich and whatnot. Then it got to where like, yo, I have bread all the time. And like, yo, I got to confirm for myself. It doesn't matter how good you working out, how everything. Yo, when you introduce gluten into the diet or too much sugar into the diet, and you also you like neglect to sleep and whatnot. I've been neglecting sleep like crazy, but it's mostly because I'm grinding. And you're not the same. I am a Martian. Let me man, I'm a Martian. But I'm sorry. So I want to show this clip because I also want to give you the other side of what it really, how guys really get women. All right, and how it really happens, and not to believe in these. Like again, women are going to come up with their own fantasies. All right, and what's going on is that a lot of men have bought into this fantasy that all these women are getting ballers, and you can't get them if you don't got it. Rather than understanding, yo, that one just ain't for you, bro.
I want to know what this hard time look like at McDonald's. Most chicks will say no.
Well, a tough time with women, straight up.
Well,
Up to you more, and you'll have. That's why I'm like this. You know what I'm saying?
this video too. This is some hood booger reaction right here.
First and foremost, I'm going to make a really important comment, and it's not going to be the nicest thing I'm going to say, right? And it's nothing wrong with this brother right here. You know what I'm saying? He's like me. You know what I'm saying? He's a bigger brother like me. What us big guys got to realize is you got to know what your lane is. You got to know, first of all, you got to be able to really pick up on when a girl really like you. And the thing is that it doesn't matter how attractive you are. You could be, listen, the Pop the Balloon show so that, yo, you could be in shape. You could be well dressed. You can be any kind of man. If you're in front of the wrong group of women, they'll look, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize there's been no regulation on women's filter when it comes to trying to find out what's wrong with you, right? Rather than just going with things that are basic things that are really important. again, women have grown to have an insatiable desire for validation and not, it's not real power, but just like just these different forms of power that really lets them, that allows them to kind of do what they want and say what they want type shit. You know what I mean? But what happens, and it's the same thing that will happen with your kids. You know what I mean? If you got kids, right, and let's say every time your kid wants ice cream, you get them ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Or they say, hey, I want one of these. You do it every single time. What happens is they build up this idea in their mind that that's how it's supposed to be, and they don't realize like, no, I'm doing that because I love you and I care about you. That's why, like, even if you can, you need to tell your kids no all the time, so that they understand, for one, how to do things for themselves, and also understand that you don't control that other person. That's not your job, because that kind of thinking is going to drive them crazy. All right, and it gets them into a space where they can't look out for themselves because they feel like someone should have done this, or this could have happened, or that could have happened, and then life just starts happening to you, right? But anyway, but going back to the brother on camera, you know, he like, yo, brother, for one, I really gotta say, man, yo, the braids look, and again, nothing wrong with his appearance, but it's like, yo, every man looks good with a nice cut and a fade. There's not a brother alive that don't look good with a fade and a nice cut. The braids look right. Also, yo, being in shape. And his brother's not in bad shape. He probably about 25 pounds off from looking real good. You know what I'm saying? In terms of being lean enough. And a lot of big guys don't realize you're not at your most attractive at certain weights. Like me personally, like, yo, I got 2 lakhs. I was on a really good track to get into that 230, and then I started getting more lax and eating stuff I don't normally eat. Let me tell you something too, just real quick for the big boys. What's going to change your diet, yo, honestly, is implementing, if you can, don't get whey protein isolate, you know what I'm saying, or at least a mixture, isolate and concentrate. I normally wouldn't get it, but it was on sale, and I got the whey protein isolate and concentrate, right? And real talk, I've been consistently having shakes for the last 2 weeks, and I realized, yo, when I first changed my diet and I kind of started eating a lot of junk food and stuff like that, what happened was at the same time I started having more protein shakes. I think I had caught this sale on one of these sites and whatnot, you know what I mean? And that was like the first time, not the first time, but that's when I began to actually do protein shakes on a regular basis. That's actually when I started having more control of my weight. So I kind of always was having shakes, or I was at least more consistent with it because it was cheaper back then to get protein powder. You get whey protein isolate, a 5-pound jar for $45. You know what I mean? It was normal for a 5-pound jug of whey protein powder to be on sale for $20-$30. That was normal. You know what I mean? And now it's just like almost $100. So if you see it sell, you gotta jump on it. But what I'm saying is, I realized during that time that I always was having protein shakes, and during this era where I got even more lax on my diet and whatnot, I wasn't having them. So basically, yo, I'm gonna tell you something. High protein keeps you from eating like a fat ass all the time and wanting sugar all the time, or wanting cakes and shit like that, because it kills when you have no protein. You don't have to get a protein shake. It can be any kind of protein, but when you get that high protein diet, you don't. First of all, you don't be hungry like that because you still digesting food. Like, you can spend a whole day not eating if you're not doing nothing too crazy. But anyway, I want to go ahead and keep playing it. So my overall point is that, yo, you got to realize, yo, when you a big nigga, yo, you may be paying her big nigga tax. All right, because women charge different men different prices. The closer you are to being in real good shape, yo, the closer you are to having her full respect, because she's gonna have more because you resemble a man. It's another thing too. Don't be letting women convince you that being sexy don't matter. No, being sexy still matters. Being attractive man, basically being a full, like Kevin Sanders used to say, rest in peace to KS. Do both. You know what I'm saying? You look good physically, you know what I'm saying, and be intelligent, and and be working on learning self-defense, learning how to use weapons, and learning about finances, and you can do all that. There's no limit. It's just about the time you want to put into it. You understand? Shout out to everybody that's watching on the other channel. We got 4,000 views away. That we short to them crack in the Matrix. Oh my God. And shout out to the people again in my comment section. I was talking about my son. That's crazy. So Kendrick Lamar inspires you to talk about people's kids. I thought he was the nicest nigga in the world. I thought no one could rap better than him. Wasn't it about that? What's it all about then? Y'all proving more and more and more. Y'all are haters. And Drake is just the subject of your hate. And yet what y'all will do is whenever it is acceptable to hate someone, human beings will always run to it because they get a chance to be who they really are. You did it with Trump. You do it with all successful people. Like more and more I'm realizing, I'm like, all right, man, don't get me wrong. I get it. You know what I mean? But to a certain, I'm like, but it's like, I had to really think about what did he really say? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he made a good point. You say, I'll make the neighborhood safer. He said, if you're a black person, you know what I'm saying, you got to worry about getting shot. And I'm like, you know what? That's one of my greatest fears is getting shot. He's absolutely right at the time. But at the time, it was like, how dare you? Yeah, nigga, like in most black neighborhoods, you have to worry about, especially if you're a man, if you're a black guy, you think about being assaulted or being robbed at some point. You know what I'm saying? Or you think I need to watch out. If you're in the suburbs, you can blast your headphones and walk around blindfolded, and nobody gonna put a finger on you. You can walk around any time of the night.
Here, dog.
Y'all understand? I'm from Houston, bro. It's bitches are heartless there. That's why I'm like this. That's why I'm like this. You know what I'm saying? They heartless like that. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, my advice to men is just try to strive to be better than average. You know what I'm saying? Not telling you go out and break the law to do it or nothing, but try to maybe strive a little bit more.
Let me touch on that real quick. Pause. That's another danger. Another reason why the men cannot be listening to these women. Because you are going to make men think that I'm not worth anything unless I'm making this amount of money. Rather than, the reality is this. For one, well, I keep saying, I'm starting to realize more and more that women really, it doesn't matter how smart they are, they can't choose their own man. All right? They're not, because they're not going to choose the kind of guy that's going to move them forward in life. All right? You know what I'm saying? It's the same as how many people, a rich person, if they had the money, will hire someone to feed them and cook them the right food. If a person is poor, someone could say, listen, I'm gonna have somebody come here and cook for you. Now, mind you, depending on where they are, especially this was like previous decades, depending on where they are, but if they say something to the effect of no bread, I'm saying, or we only will make you bread, something that has like a sandwich and whatnot, a total of 2 times a week. Fried food, we don't do fried food once if you said twice a month, right? In fact, we'll say 3 times a month. We'll actually do a fried dish, but we're gonna cook all your meals. But it's going to, as far as snacks go, you can select from here. You can get protein shake, a smoothie, a low sugar smoothie that we have. You can get yogurt, you can get fruit, and you can get protein bar, fucking charcuterie board meats. If you're into that kind of thing, that's when I listen and don't judge. Other than that, I'm judging you. That is all. Have a good night. But for certain people, that would not be an option. Depending on where their mind is at. All right. Because as we can see, we're starting to realize that, the higher up you go, the more you care about what goes into your body. And because again, like gluten-free, rich folks was on gluten-free way, you know what I'm saying? And we should have peeped game. Like gluten is like really bad for you. It's like it's terrible. I've been having more bread just because I've been doing this with y'all, man. Like I put so much time into this, bro, and put so much thought into this shit, and I'm like, I do this all day, every day, and I'm gearing up to do more different kinds of content. I'm about to revolutionize content and how content creators sees content. So I'm about to. What I'm going to be doing. I am the Drake of this shit in terms of how Drake is able to immerse himself. You know what I'm saying, in a certain kind of music, and then download his own version of that style. So like London drill Drake, a trapper. The fact that we have labels for a trapper Drake, singing Drake, drill Drake. You know what I'm saying? Introspective Drake. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you could say that, I'm like, that's why he's still here. I know the only issue I have with Drake was you're too nice at making music. You're too good at it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I want to hear Drake with like not backpack. I want to hear him with like more gritty niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's a good contrast, and he knows that. He knows that he sounds the best with really like low life rapping. Like he sounds the best with Future, like Lil Baby, 21 Savage, because it's a nice bouncing back and forth. You know what I mean? It compliments him a lot, and that's another thing. Drake don't get credit for too.